the things I wanted to read was the description of your EP. Yeah. It's a self-titled EP that releases August 25th, and it says, this EP description from your Facebook page, woven through her self-titled EP in a tapestry of grief, suffering, hope, and redemption, for which there is only one appropriate response: unfettered, unfiltered worship.
Yeah.
Oof. I love that. And I think just what really struck me as I got to know you on paper, I'm so glad you are here today, is how gracefully you combined your life struggles in the context of faith. And Alisa called herself blessed in spite of what her eyes have seen, then saying songwriting was a life preserver that God threw out to me in stormy seas. We're going to hear your new song a little bit later on called My Prayer for You, and you can hear it now on WJTL. And can you give us a little background behind My Prayer for You?
Yeah, so a little bit of my story. I was a worship pastor's daughter, and grew up, PK, always in the church, and at a young age, knowing who the Lord was and learning how to worship and who we were worshiping, and just as well fell in love with music and chased that all the way to Nashville when I was about 20 years old, and had very supportive family. So on my way to Nashville, called my dad and said, I'm going for it, and he booked my hotel, and I lived there for a little while until I found a place to live. But it was about a year into being there that I got a phone call. I was on the phone with my dad 1 minute, and then just about an hour later, I got a phone call from a hospital asking if I was a relative, and it ended up that my dad had a very sudden heart attack. And it was just almost instant. It took a while for me to find out that information, and it was kind of the first traumatic experience in my life. My dad was my world. I talked to him every day, all day. He was my, he always said, I'm your biggest fan. So it's been a hard time to process that and to walk through grief. And so I went home and I tried to help get my family back on our feet and move forward the best we could. Once things settled a bit, I went back out on the road and started chasing my dreams and doing music, and I loved connecting with people and not just sharing my story but hearing theirs as well. And but out on the road, started to have some symptoms of illness. I'd get up on the stage and was forgetting my lyrics, or my speech was really slurred, and starting to have a lot of pain and fatigue. So I went home, and after a long time of going from doctor to doctor, I found out I'd had Lyme disease. Had it for a really long time and had no idea. So I was bedridden for years with this. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, my muscles had atrophied. I was fed through a tube, and it was an incredible season of struggle. The world kept spinning while I just kind of laid there. But the Lord brought me through it again. Provided I was on IV treatments for a long time and got back on my feet, and during that met my husband, and it was a huge blessing. I can look back through all the things I've been through and see the Lord didn't always prevent things from happening, because this is just life, this is earth, and things are going to happen, but the Lord has always provided for me through it. Whether it's protecting me, he always has favor on me as well as you. I was thankful to meet my husband even at my sickest, and about our second year into marriage, we found out we were pregnant, which was shocking because I was told I couldn't get pregnant, so it was a beautiful blessing. But early into that, we found out my son had a birth defect, and that we, at the end of the pregnancy, when he would be born, that he would die. And so they wanted us to terminate. And I just wanted to spend as much time as I could with him, even if it was just mostly in my belly. And so instead of looking at, I knew that he would pass, but I tried to embrace his life every minute I got of it. And when he was born, he lived a little over an hour, and they laid him on my chest, and that's where he took his last breath. And it's, he was taken to the heavens, but he was given to me as well. So I try to look at that, but it's hard. I mean, I've unraveled dozens and dozens of times, but the Lord has continued to kind of pick me up and carry me through. So that kind of led me, after a season of grief as well, I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to keep following this burning wildfire of, there's just something about chasing music. There was just always this song in me that I felt like I had to get out. Honestly tried to escape it for a while, because like, this is just not going to happen at this point. I'm okay with it, but that desire just would not go away. So we moved to Nashville, went back there, and ended up at a church with a guy named Michael Farron, who kind of pulled me in to start writing songs for the church, and it led us to Integrity, which kind of led us here.